diet today, recovery, and training to get your best results for your health and in your exercise routine. Fats are made up of three fatty acids to a glycerol. That this is known when you have four like that, four bonds in the fat chemical chain. They're known as saturated fats, and they're harder for your body to break down. They also contain less antioxidants. And when the fats are harder to break down, they generally can cause complications and high cholesterol levels, complications with the arteries and the heart because they are not metabolized very well by your liver, but not only by your liver, but they're hard for your stomach to digest as well and can cause problems in the stomach. But let me state here that it's not, I'm not telling anyone this is facts. I'm not telling anyone what to eat, or I'm not directing or instructing anyone what to eat or how to train. This video is meant for educational purposes only. So, talking about fats, the saturated fats are generally regarded as the least healthiest. The monounsaturated fats are less complex. They only have two chemical bonds. They're easier to break down. But an interesting thing about them is that when they're broken down quicker, they're much healthier for the metabolism. When they in the foods that contain monounsaturated fats, things like almond butter, olive oil, canola oil, um, are very, very high in omega 6s. Omega, omega 6s are also known to be more inflammatory, but we also need the, the fats in monounsaturated fats to, to help fuel the body. And the monounsaturated fats typically do not cause a spike in insulin, which is a very good thing because insulin pretty much makes your body insulin makes your body release a lot of sugar from your liver quickly. It can cause a lot of problems. Anyone who's insulin resistant knows the dangers of having high insulin. But the monounsaturated fats is a good fuel source because it's broken down quickly by the body. See, sugars are not the only thing broken down quickly by the body. Things like the almond butters, the canola oils, the olive oils, the fish oils, very good fuel. And did you know? Oh, how you doing? Hey, Mr. Handsome. You are handsome. Thank you very much. How are you? Hey, so like if you're training and you want to get in the gym and like me, I can't eat a lot of carbohydrates. Did you know I can't have rice? I can't have bread. Are you kidding me? I can't have spaghetti. Hey, how you doing, Kyrie? Slay Twin. Hey, cool name. I like your name. So, I can't have spaghetti. What is life? I used to love spaghetti. I can't have it. My stomach can't handle it. I don't know what's going on. But I need something to fuel my body. I go to things like almond butter, canola oil. We believe canola oil, um, fish oils. Uh, I go to the fats, the healthy fats. I look for the healthy fats, flaxseed oil. Do you know before I train, this is what I utilize. I use a healthy form of fat, like the fish oils, the olive oil, the almond butter, the peanut butter, or macadamia butter. Oh, this is delicious. And they help give me energy to train because they're broken down quickly by the body. Your body could use the fats for fuel. Yeah, I know. But I mean, I got to look it up in a book and see. You know, lucky for me, it's true what they say that the egg almost contains everything. The eggs have a lot of nutrients. Also has a healthy nutrient called lecithin. It helps your body break down fat for energy. And so it doesn't hang around and convert to the unhealthy cholesterol. Lecithin, the eggs contain that, contains all the amino acids you want, contains a good source of iron, and there's something called hem iron, which the body typically utilizes much easier than iron from the vegetables. Hem iron, the eggs contain that. So I eat some eggs and I got a lot of nutrients. I throw in some vegetables, the green vegetables, the the red, the better different colors, variety of colored vegetables you have more antioxidants and more nutrients. So, vegetables, it's come safe, and eggs are really good carbo. Yeah, oh yeah, thank you. Like I have a filter, a water filter. That's very important because these days you get so many things in the water. I used to work in a laundry, and you get the rust from the pipes in the water. Not good, you know. And I know I used to clean the filters out, the little inside the machines. Not a pretty sight. But getting back to nutrition, the healthy fats are a good thing for your body. Healthy fats. They call monounsaturated fats. They're much simpler structure, chemical structure than a saturated fat, which has four uh, four bonds, four four parts to it. Monounsaturated fats have two parts, and polyunsaturated fats too, as well, two parts, and your body could break down these healthy fats. And monounsaturated fats, like I said, the olive oil, the fish oils, the avocado. Avocado is great. I can eat avocado. It has vitamin A. And these things, you eat them before you're working out, you're not just getting your energy, but you're getting your vitamins too. Very good. Coconuts. Do you know that coconuts reduce inflammation? Very good for inflammation, but coconuts are good for hydrating you. You know, you get all your potassium, you get a lot of potassium in there, your sodium, you have minerals, and you even have things to help your sugar level, like the chromium, raisins. Raisins have a lot of iron too. They have minerals. And let's go to protein. Let's talk about protein. It's what your body can break down. Meat's very hard for your stomach to break down. Let's face it. I mean, yeah, it contains a lot of amino acids, but chicken meat actually has more amino acids than beef. So, but the eggs are the most complete form of protein. You could take an egg and you can add an egg to any meat. You can add an egg to any vegetable source. So say if you're eating spaghetti, wheat, or a sandwich, the egg can complete the amino acids in anything you eat. It can make it complete. So it's a thing to take note of because not everybody can eat meat. And the thing with meat, it could cause a high acid condition. You have something called pH balance in your stomach. Everybody has different pH balances. Thing to remember, because protein is very acidic, and the thing that could help restore that pH balance is potassium. So if you're eating a high protein diet, potassium will help with that with pH balance. It'll help prevent too much acidity. You need this. I used to have potatoes with my protein because potatoes have a lot of potassium and they help alkalize or neutralize all that acid. And it's very important because if you're eating a lot of meat and you have too much acid, your body's not going to be able to function right. You get inflammation. And you need a lot of water, just like you said, Kyrie. Need a lot of water. But talking about vitamins, minerals, your stress. In order to handle the stress from working out, you need vitamin C. Vitamin C helps your adrenal glands a lot. Vitamin C is very important. Also, antioxidants, because when you work out, your body releases a lot of free radicals, like poisons released when your muscle cells create or break down ATP. They release toxins inside your muscle cells. Your body needs to get rid of all those toxins inside your muscle cells. People work out have a lot more of these toxins. Hey, they do because they break down more ATP when they contract the muscle. The ATPs will contract muscles. The more times you work out, the more contraction, the more free radicals you have floating around. It's not enough to eat high protein. You need antioxidants. Well, you talk about vegetables, fruits, but you also can get a lot of antioxidants in things like cranberries, resveratrol. Um, Grapes are very, very high in, uh, in antioxidants, and pomegranate juice is very healthy. It's very, very rich in antioxidants. I used to like to take a little pomegranate juice and mix it with in my post-workout shake. And did you know also that carnitine is important to help rebuild your muscle cells? Yes, carnitine helps break down the fat, but particularly carnitine helps your heart muscle contraction. But carnitine is not something that's floating around and it's found in a lot of foods. You'd have to eat 5 pounds of meat. Okay, can I rewind that? Blah, 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 blah. 5 pounds of meat to get the required amount of carnitine. So how are you gonna get carnitine? Yeah, carnitine. Rich rich forms of carnitine are usually like beef, meat, but not everybody, like I said, can eat the beef and the meat. So carnitine is very, very important. Eggs have a lot of carnitine in it. It's very important, but it's something to take note of. You need to eat foods rich in carnitine, and it's very, very important for your heart to have carnitine. And let's talk about the training. How much sleep do you need to balance out? If you train hard, you're going to have a lot of stress hormone. The more stress hormone you have, it's going to it's going to create something called cortisol, which is cortisol. Cortisol, okay? Remember that word, cortisol. You feel great after a workout. Partly it's because your body's releasing cortisol, and look at this, it's waking you up. It's helping release sugar from your liver, but it's also breaking down your muscles for sugar. Cortisol, yes. You have to do something about that, right? So you have to calm yourself down, basically, and you have to protect yourself from cortisol. There are, there are. That's where, that's where things, natural foods like garlic helps with cortisol. Yes. Did you know that green tea helps with the cortisol? Basil, you take a little basil in your food. It's delicious. It helps with cortisol. I sprinkle basil on my food. Basil is a leaf. Basil, vegetable basil or the leaf basil. It helps with cortisol. Or there are herbs that are great for cortisol, like rhodiola rosea. So you should be jogging, taking these things down, writing them down, because you want to help your recovery, then you should be writing these things down, because it's not all about just stuffing yourself with protein and training hard, high intensity. It's not, the internet does not tell you everything. You see all these hit training, eat this, eat a lot of protein, and it's going to cause anabolic. It's not that simple. If it were that simple, everybody can't just gain muscle like that. It's a balance. You train hard, you get tired, you eat the right balance, you eat a variety of nutrients, you eat the herbs. So it's not just foods. Herbs is a food. Herbs is something that help the body tremendously. Like I said, like the green teas have ECGs, galogactins. They help. The green tea helps protect your stomach from inflammation. It helps neutralize a lot of toxins in your gut. Rhodiola rosea is an herb that helps your body fight uh, cortisol and stress. Rhodiola contains something called rosavins that help the nerves. You have alpha GPC. It's derived from glycerol. Alpha alpha GPC. It forms a type of fat, a glycerol fat, that helps the lining of the nerve repair itself. Alpha GPC. So that is derived from a glycerol and it helps protect the nerves. These are found in, like I said, in healthy fats. Fish also contains a good source. It's a good source of carnitine, and carnitine helps the cortisol. So let's get into the training. If you want to gain strength, you have to target strength. Strength is not just about numbers. It's how much force, how much effort you put. It comes from up here, comes from the brain, being able to put out. We humans don't put out all our strength, otherwise we'd snap our muscles. Your brain has a regulatory, it's a nerve. It's the Golgi tendon. Golgi tendon prevents the muscle contracting 100%. So if you're training for strength, you have to have an approach. You have to have a plan. It's called a plan. Many people in literature, in training journals, recommend between 70-75% of the max training at that. The reason for that is that it does not, number one, it doesn't overstress your muscles. 70-75% does not overstress the muscle. It's something where you could train multiple sets at, and you could do more regularly than if you're training 80-85%. You're flirting with injury. It's not all about high intensity. It's about consistency, consistently training, and it's cumulative training. The amount of overall training sessions that you can recover from, that you can have. You generally don't want to stick to one set or two sets or three sets. The whole idea is for you to condition your body to be able to do more work in less time. You do 5 sets and it takes you 20 minutes to do one day. In a few months, you find that 5 sets only takes you 10 minutes. You've increased your work capacity. Your muscles at that point will be stronger and bigger. Trust me, they will. And just because you lift very heavy does not mean that you've increased your work capacity, that you can do more sets. You may find that you have to stay in the gym forever. You don't want to stay in the gym 5 hours to do 10 sets. You don't want to stay in the gym, a whole hour to do 10 sets. That's ridiculous. If you're fit, if you're in shape, you can do that 10 sets in 30 minutes, yes, or less. That's what being in shape means. And again, 70-75% of your maximum weight that you can lift. I'll tell you, like when I was a kid, like books used to say that you should be able to curl 70% of your maximum curl. Let's say you curl 100, you should be able to curl 70 pounds, 10 reps. How many people can do that, right? That you should be able to curl 40 pounds less than your body weight for 1 repetition. These are standardized tests, right? So, for example, for the curl with the arm, uh, for the press, you're supposed to be able to press your own body weight. How many people in gyms could do that these days? They're not paying attention to that. They're reading about high intensity, and yet their body doesn't have the strength. The main the main requirement in your body is always strength. Strength. If you weigh 100 pounds, you weigh 100 pounds, and you don't have your strength, your legs do not have the strength to move 50 pounds. How can you move? Strength is the number one requirement the human being has. The number one, strength. I mean, when we're talking about training, when we're talking about fitness, strength. But let's not forget the heart is a muscle too. That has strength. The heart beats, the stronger it is, it can beat up more blood, more oxygen with each beat. That's strength. This is what you need to have a program, a good training program that works, uses percentages, that you don't go in there doing high intensity all the time. Because the more high intensity you do, you can't do it in a plan where you could do it long term and when your body can build up. Like I said, 70 to 75% is a great way, it's a great starting point. Like, I'm not saying that everybody should do what I'm saying, but this is for educational purposes. That it's known that 70, the recommended training intensity is 70 to 75%. Anyone can look it up in books. So what does that mean to the average person? Let's say you use 100 pounds in exercise for one time. That's the most you can lift is 100 pounds. 70% would be 70 pounds. And that's what you should practice with, 70%. So if you can lift 100 once, you practice with 70 pounds. So if you can curl 100 pounds once, or you could bench 100 pounds once, this is what you practice with, 70 pounds. Till you can lift it when you're starting out, preferably 12 times. And then you can increase the weight. That is recommended. You can increase the weight. So 70% is good way to train. Now, if you want your muscles to grow, you also have to be able to position them correctly and make sure they're using the muscle that you want. Say your bicep, you have to position it so you're not using your wrist too much, you're not using your shoulder, you're not pushing. So you have to know what the muscle does, the function of the muscle, the movement. You have to know what movement the muscle does. It pulls the forearm, the lower arm. It brings the lower arm to the upper arm. Very simple. That doesn't mean it's lifting the shoulder. That doesn't mean it's twisting the wrist. It just simply means it's moving the lower arm to the upper arm. That's the bicep. If you're doing your bicep movement, that's what you should be looking for. But let's talk about abdominals, since that's my favorite. Abdominals. A lot of people doing like leg raises, and they're raising their feet to the head, and they're swinging, and they're doing sit-ups. Did you know they're just working the muscles that flex the spine? The biggest muscle that does all these leg raises and sit-ups is called the psoas. It's a big muscle that's attached from your spine to your leg. And the more you use it, guess what? The more stress on your spinal disc. The abdominal muscles are meant to support the spine so that it doesn't have to move. The abdominal muscles are stabilizers. Or should I say, they can move the spine, but not excessively. And not only that, the abdominals put the brakes on spinal movement. It can control the spinal movement so the spine doesn't bend too fast. That's the function of the abdominals. It's not meant to move the spine in a violent sit-up or violent leg raise. A lot of the abdominal movements you see me do don't involve a lot of movement, and that's the correct way. That's the reason is because The abdominals control spinal movement. They help put the brakes. The stronger that your abdominals can hold the position, the more it can put the brakes, the more effectively it can put the brakes on your spinal movement. If you go down to bend something, if your lower abdominals are not able to contract along with your glutes, yes, it's not just abdominals. Abdominals don't contract by themselves. They contract with your glutes, the inner core muscles, transverse, the pelvic floor. So, you know, if you bend down to pick something up and your abdominals are not able to contract really hard, tense really hard to control how fast you bend down, this is where you hurt your back. You see these people talking about it's okay to round your back, but they never mention the abdominals contracting so that your back bends in a controlled way. It's not just about bending or not bending, it's about the controlled bending, how you're able to control the bending of your back. Let's talk about sleep now. Yes, sleep. How much sleep do you need? I'm going to tell you right now, I should be sleeping right now because it's dark outside. And the older you get, you know what? The more sleep you need, the more deep REM sleep you need, REM. That's what matters. It's not, you can get 12 hours of sleep. You get little REM sleep, REM. It's not enough. But I'm going to leave you with that thought. Any questions, go to my channel, please.